Sometimes, the most ordinary day can unravel a hidden world of deceit right in your own backyard. My name is James Harper, a 52-year-old financial planner living in the quiet suburb of Willow Grove. That Tuesday, an early break from work set off a chain of events that exposed a thief, dismantled a crime syndicate, and turned our peaceful neighborhood into the talk of the town. This is the story of how I caught a brazen crook red-handed and uncovered a scam that shook our community to its core. It was a golden afternoon, the kind where the sun casts long shadows and the air smells of freshly cut grass. I'd left the office early after a client canceled, eager to spend time with my 8-year-old son, Ethan, organizing his room. As I pulled into our driveway on Maple Lane, I was humming, feeling lighter than I had in weeks. But that peace shattered the moment I stepped out of my sedan. There, on my front porch, stood a woman in her early 60s, her blonde hair stiff as a board, wearing a blazer that screamed, "I chair every local committee." She was clutching a cardboard box, and inside it, I saw Ethan's toys, his red remote control truck, his Lego spaceship with his name scrawled on it. Not just any toys, but the ones we'd carefully arranged together. My stomach dropped. Was this a mistake? A neighbor I hadn't met? Or something worse? "Excuse me," I called, keeping my voice calm but firm. "Can I help you?" The woman, let's call her Margaret Klein, spun around, her face a mix of surprise and calculation. Her eyes flicked over me, a quick judgment I've seen too often as a black man in the suburbs. "Oh, hello," she said, her voice syrupy sweet. "I'm collecting donations for our church's charity drive." Such generous giving. She hoisted the box like it was proof of her virtue. I stepped closer, my pulse quickening. "Those are my son's toys. From inside my house." Margaret's smile tightened, and she shifted into what I can only describe as full entitlement mode. "Excuse me," she snapped, clutching the box tighter. "These belong to my grandson, Tommy. I'm retrieving what was stolen from him." The audacity of her lie made me laugh a sharp, incredulous sound. She was stealing from my son and accusing us of theft? "Ma'am, put the box down and step away from my door," I said, pulling out my phone. "Those toys have been in my house for months. Some were Christmas gifts." Margaret's face flushed, not with shame, but with outrage. "How dare you accuse me? I'm a respected member of Grace Community Church. I run the annual charity drive." Her voice rose to a pitch that could summon every dog in Willow Grove. "Do you know who I am?" "I know you're holding my son's property," I replied, dialing 911. The mention of police should have made her back off, but Margaret doubled down. "Call them. They'll see I'm helping underprivileged children while you hoard toys that belong to families in need." Her self-righteous tone was almost admirable in its delusion. As the dispatcher answered, Margaret snatched my phone with the speed of a linebacker, shrieking, "I need help. This man stole my grandson's toys and is threatening me." I stood there, stunned, watching her hijack my phone to spin her tale. "Ma'am, give me my phone," I said, reaching for it. She jerked back, clutching Ethan's toys like a trophy. "He's being aggressive. Please hurry." My years of dealing with irrational clients kept me calm. "Ma'am," I said, using my professional tone, "return my phone and put down the box. We'll wait for the police." Her response? Pointing at me dramatically while still on the call. "See how he's manipulating me? This is what these people do." That phrase, "these people," hung in the air like a slap. I've lived in Willow Grove for 7 years, a diverse, friendly place where neighbors swap recipes and mow each other's lawns. But to Margaret, I was just a stereotype, not James Harper, father and professional. The dispatcher finally intervened, demanding she return my phone. Grudgingly, she handed it over, acting as if it was a noble sacrifice. "This is James Harper," I told the dispatcher. "I came home to find this woman on my porch with my son's toys, claiming their donations. I've never seen her before." I described the items. Ethan's truck, bought for his birthday. His Lego set, marked with his name. Margaret sputtered. "Children write on things. Anyone can look up model numbers." But her story was crumbling. 20 minutes later, 2 patrol cars arrived. Officer Linda Carter, a seasoned cop with no patience for nonsense, stepped out, followed by Officer Ryan Brooks, a rookie trying to keep up. Margaret launched into a theatrical performance, clutching the box and claiming I'd threatened her charity work. But when Officer Carter asked how she got the toys, Margaret's story unraveled. "The door was open," she stammered. "I thought they were donations." My door was locked this morning. I interjected. I have security cameras. Margaret's face went pale. I pulled up the Ring app, showing crystal clear footage of her jimmying my back door and hauling out Ethan's toys. Officer Carter's eyes widened as she watched. "Ma'am," she said, her voice heavy, "this shows you breaking into Mr. Harper's home. That's burglary." Margaret's desperation peaked. "The footage is doctored. These people are sophisticated with technology." Both officers exchanged a look, clearly done with her excuses. Then, as Officer Carter reached for her handcuffs, Margaret unleashed a performance for the ages. She wailed, clutching the toys, sobbing about religious persecution. "You can't arrest me. This is discrimination." Neighbors gathered, jaws dropping. Mrs. Lopez next door stopped watering her roses. The Millers across the street gawked like it was a blockbuster. "Ma'am, put the box down," Officer Carter warned. Instead, Margaret bolted, clutching the toys and running across my lawn. She made it 10 feet before tripping over Mrs. Lopez's hose, crashing in a heap of Lego pieces and wounded pride. The neighborhood gasped. Officer Carter helped her up, unfazed, while Officer Brooks collected scattered toys. "This is his fault." Margaret pointed at me, as if my existence forced her to flee. They cuffed her, still ranting about God's work, and drove her away. Officer Carter stayed behind. "Mr. Harper, we'll need you at the station to file a complaint. This is one of the clearest burglary cases I've seen." As I surveyed my lawn, Ethan's toys strewn across 2 yards, neighbors' buzzing eyes smiled. Margaret's downfall was just the beginning. The next morning, Detective Emily Reed called me to the station. Her desk was buried under files labeled Margaret Klein. "Your case just got bigger," she said, sliding over a list of names and stolen items. The Pattersons lost jewelry, the Garcias, electronics, the elderly Thompsons, heirlooms. All linked to Margaret's charity drives. 17 victims in Willow Grove alone, with $60,000 in stolen goods. The kicker? Grace Community Church had no record of her. She'd faked her affiliation, claiming ties to 7 churches over 2 years. A search of Margaret's home revealed a hoard of stolen goods, Ethan's toys among them, worth a fortune. She'd been selling some online, hoarding the rest like a dragon. The story hit the local news, and Willow Grove became a media circus. Reporters swarmed, neighbors dished, and someone sold coffee to the crowds. Then the FBI got involved. Agent Karen Walsh joined Detective Reed, revealing Margaret's scam spanned 3 states, with 300 victims and $2 million in thefts. She'd moved to new towns, infiltrate churches, and rob trusting families. But there was more in network. Enter Paul Dempsey, a nervous man who showed up at my door, claiming to be Margaret's church friend. Sweating in a too-heavy jacket, he offered fake documents to clear up the misunderstanding, then tried to bribe me with donated electronics. I played along, knowing Agent Walsh was watching. Paul cracked, admitting he'd worked with Margaret for 2 years, driving her getaway truck. The FBI arrested him on my porch. The real mastermind, though, was Margaret's daughter, Laura Kleinwright. She rolled up in a sleek SUV, all-power suits and cold smiles, offering me a check to drop the charges. When I refused, she hinted at complications for Ethan and me. My security system caught every word. Detective Reed was thrilled. Laura ran the operation, laundering money and intimidating victims. Her bribe and threats were the evidence they needed. Federal agents arrested her downtown, her composure unshaken but her empire in ruins. The trials wrapped up fast. Margaret got 5 years for theft and burglary. Paul, cooperating, got probation. Laura, facing racketeering charges, was sentenced to 12 years. The recovered goods were auctioned, raising $900,000 for real charities. Willow Grove settled back into its quiet rhythm, but we were tighter now, all with cameras and first-name familiarity. That evening, as Ethan played with his reclaimed Lego spaceship, I sat on my porch, watching Mrs. Lopez tend her roses and the Millers plan a block party. Margaret's frantic sprint across my lawn, shouting about persecution, was now a neighborhood legend. A single early afternoon had unraveled a crime spree hiding in plain sight. Our little suburb was safe again, and Ethan's toys were right where they belonged. What do you think about this story? Have you ever faced injustice or violence in your community? Share your thoughts in the comments. Take a stand. Tell us your perspective. Let's get this conversation going.